Hey guys, I am Sarah here from Work Life Blue. I am a daycare provider into my home to up to 10 kids under age 5, and I like to do a preschool curriculum in my home. I've talked a lot about Funshine Express on my channel. I do a daycare day video almost every Friday, as well as organizing videos, working mom related videos, a weekly prep video every Sunday, showing how I balance the weekends as a working mom, and so much more. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our glue stick family. Today I'm actually going to be showing you how I plan the whole month in advance for my curriculum. I use Funshine Express. I have a whole bunch of videos I will link below if you guys are interested. I'm going to be planning for the month of March. It's just about the last week of February when I'm filming this. And I'm just gonna kind of walk you guys through how I use this. Now, Funshine Express is really great because it has all the days planned out for you, but it is really nice to kind of go in and pre-plan what crafts you're gonna do on what days, because I, in particular, have some closed days, have kids that go to preschool, a couple kids who go to preschool outside of daycare a couple days a week, and so I like to plan my crafts around when the most kids will be here. Sometimes I'll do half the group one day and the other half the other day, depending on who's here. So I just like to kind of see what's going on and plan it out, and that way every week I know exactly what crafts I'm doing. I can just easily pull them out when I'm doing my weekly planning, which I have videos on. I'll link those below as well. And then I just have a really good idea of where the month is headed, and I feel really prepared heading into the month. So I'm gonna walk you through how I do that. Now, if you have never used Funshine Express and after this video you wanna at least try it out, you can get $30 off of your first order by calling and using the information and the code I have in the description. Now just make sure you call. I've had people who try to use the code online. It won't work that way. You have to call, but you get $30 off, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful way to try it without having to pay a lot of money. Okay, so the way I do it, we actually go in a few other providers, and I go in on the early bird special, which I think happens in June, and they send it all to one provider. She separates it all into boxes and separates out all the crafts depending on how many we ordered, and then we go pick it up from her. So that's why the box is already open and it says Sarah 7, because I ordered enough for 7 children. But let's open it up, see what's inside. The very first thing I usually do is just kind of look inside, lay it all out, see what's, you know, in store for me, and then I find my teacher pack, because I do order the teacher pack, which has like the shape of the month, the letter cards, the weather cards, the calendar cards, games and stuff like that. I find it very valuable to have those, but you also can order just the crafts. Okay, so this is everything that was in the box. There are lots of different crafts, and keep in mind some of these have 2 or 3 crafts. Some have, like this has 2, this has 2, this has 2, and sometimes when you flip them over there's actually another one. So, and there's more there. So lots and lots of craft. I think it's like 16 crafts per box. And then they also give you some craft ideas that you can do with stuff you have on hand already. And this is really cool. I've never received one of these, but it says a gift for you for being a loyal Funshine Express customer. So I'm excited to see what's in there. We also have our journals. We love these. They're great for practicing your letters, your numbers. They're great at just introducing the idea of a worksheet. We don't do them every day, but they are really great at having them practice their writing, coloring, you know, connect the dots, you know, identifying letter sounds and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, we practice writing our name and all that kind of stuff. I love these. You always get a cutout of whatever the shape is for the month, so it must be diamond. We get newsletters to send home that kind of just go over what, you know, an overview of what we're doing and how to reinforce those things at home, which is really cool. And then things you can cook, songs to sing, some books you can look for at the library, and then there's a place for providers to also write in reminders if you want. And then this is the teacher pack, which I will dive into in a second. But lots of stuff. I'm really excited. This is my favorite day of the month, is just seeing what's in here. The most important thing I use all the time is the curriculum guide. This is what gives you an overview of everything for the month, tells you what crafts to do, gives you an overview of every day, tells you when you're going to be using all these things. Just really amazing. I love how they lay it out. I love the colors and everything. They always have a book list for each theme, which is great. I've given that to my librarian before, and she's pulled some books for me. Just so many amazing resources, like how to set up everything, board ideas. just amazing. I mean, you could take this way farther than I do, especially if you are doing, you know, if you only do preschool age kids, you could get a lot more in depth with this than I do, because I still have a couple kids under the age of 2 as well. So I'll set that aside, but what else is in here? I always get a book, so Dr. Potts, My Pets Have Spots. That's really awesome. We get sequence cards every month, learning about a sequence. So there's a cherry blossom. That's really pretty. I used to have a cherry blossom out this window, and it blew over. Very sad. Anyway, so it's showing you, it's showing you the seasons. Okay, so you can see how that one tree looks different all year. I love this. So every month there's a different set of sequence cards, depending on, like last month was about brushing your teeth. There's been baking ones, how to build a house, all stuff like that. We've got our number cards. Looks like we're learning 15 and 16 this month. And then we have our daily physical health cards and our song, or there's sometimes rhymes, you know, that go along with what we're learning. I love these. They added these this year, and I think they're amazing. And they all go in this box that you get at the beginning of the year. So you could reuse all this from year to year. I mean, if you just wanted to order Funshine once and then keep everything, you definitely could do that as well. Obviously, you won't be getting the crafts, but this, you know, it's great supplemental stuff as well. There's always an overview of the whole month with the 2 themes. So the themes this month are silly fun. I think there's like Dr. Seuss, and then there's St. Patty's Day. So they're probably just kind of trying to tie those things in. And then there's changing weather, which I pray to God in Minnesota that we're starting to see some changes in our weather come the end of March. There's also a list of different things, like extra things you might want to have on hand for those days if you do all of the activities, so that's really handy. There's always a type of art that we're learning with a craft that goes along with it. Then there's the little card for your calendar. And then you have you get the letters, the actual letter cards at the beginning of the year, but then they send the supplemental words that go along with them every month. And then here are calendar pieces. We love learning patterns with these. More letters, and then there's stuff for games, so this must go with a game. We've got our word wall words, more letters. We have a character trait every time, so this time it's I am silly. Another game, looks like a tic-tac-toe kind of thing. That's cute. We always get something to put on this cube we have with 6 sides, and you can roll it. So this probably is used to show different emotions, or maybe share like when you felt a different emotion. That's really cool. There's always a rhyme or poem or song that has cutouts that you can do. Here's some kind of changing weather chart. That's cool. Here we've got a puzzle, so you cut those out and then they can put it back together. And then these go together. So it's a roadway to spring game that, you know, you learn more about in the curriculum book. Okay, so once I've looked at everything, what I really like to do is just go through my planner. I will link the teacher planner I use. It might not be for sale. I'll try to find something similar. I just go through the monthly overview, kind of see what stuff's going on. I actually have 3 kids' birthdays this month, all within like 2 weeks of each other, so I gotta keep that in mind. And I'm closed a couple days, closed for doing paperwork, and then I'm closed the week of spring break, where we are, not the whole week, but 2 of those days. So I obviously won't plan stuff there, but I try to think, you know, will I double up on crafts? What crafts will I omit? And that kind of stuff. And then the week of spring break, I'll likely have a few lower numbers because I have some teacher kids, so I keep that in mind. And what I like to do on every Friday, I do what's called Funtastic Friday. I have a whole video on that as well. I'll link below. But every Friday we do some kind of fun thing. So the last Friday of every month we do Jammy Movie Day. We have like a share day this month, and then I have 2 other things to fill in. This day with a birthday is right before St. Patty's Day, so we'll celebrate St. Patty's Day that day as well, and so I'll know to like save the St. Patty's Day craft for that day, even if the curriculum doesn't have it planned for that day. And then, you know, I'm gonna try to think of 2 other crafts we could do. I had like the idea of spring day. Oh, I'm closed on this Friday, so I only have to think of 1 other one. So we have share day, Jammy Movie Day, St. Patty's Day, where we'll wear green Maybe I'll have like mismatch clothes day or something. Something simple. So mismatch clothes. So I wrote that in. So now what I'm gonna do is just transfer those days in the month to a specific day for the weekly spread, just so I, know what's happening. So I'll write like share day on the day that share day will be, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I've gone through and written everything in, the certain days that I have planned already. And now I'm gonna go through the curriculum book and mainly look at the crafts, and then I'll look at like the numbers and just kind of write those in. I just kind of write them in here. It's not too neat or perfect, but that's just how I plan. I don't do it very pretty. And that way I know like what day we're doing what. So, the 4th, since the new month starts on a Friday and I already planned what I'm doing that Friday, I'm just gonna move this stuff to the Monday. So we're gonna learn the number 15. I don't usually write these in, I just know as I'm looking through this when I'm filling out my week's curriculum stuff in the system I use, I just know to take that card and throw it in there to use. But I know whenever we do a number that we also do the little cards and we count, and then we also do it in our little workbook. We practice writing that number. And then I'll write silly character card, so I know how to do that. And we will probably do the letter S too. We'll just kind of double up on stuff, and I'll write down, we're gonna do our word wall words. And then we'll probably do this craft instead of the other one. So I'll write Bo Fasley bookmark. And then the second day, I'll kind of just show you guys what a week looks like. I won't show you every single thing. So then the second day, we'll reinforce the letter. I don't need to write that down. Okay, and then we're gonna do a 1 fish, 2 fish. 1 fish, 2 fish craft. And the tic-tac-toe, fishy tic-tac-toe. Closed Wednesday, so what was on Wednesday? Wednesday we're gonna learn the letter blue, or the color blue, so I'll write that for Thursday. Our nursery rhyme. So Wednesday was this craft, walk it in my pockets. It's all Dr. Seuss stuff. And what is the Thursday craft? The Lorax. I think we'll do the walk it in my pocket since we'll be missing that day. And then what I normally do is Fridays we do our letter craft. I have music class where a teacher actually comes in and teaches music. So we'll do our letter craft then, and we'll also do this emotion concept. Emotion cube activity. And let's see, yeah. So I usually do the letter craft. I have my own thing from Funshine I purchased. It's a touch and texture alphabet pack, and so we do that on Fridays for whatever letter we learned, which is perfect because they had just something that doesn't come with the curriculum. It's just something you can just use your own materials for, so I'll just do the letter craft that day instead. So I'll write down S craft. Okay, and so I just do that for every month. I just kind of go through and mark when I'm going to be doing each thing. Okay, so I just planned it all. I thought I would just kind of take you guys through so you can see, what all the crafts are for a month and kind of what it looks like. So we are going to do this. You trace the popsicle sticks and then you color in all the different segments, different colors. The letter T, learning about clowns, making a clown craft. Number 16, doing a weaving craft. Learning about St. Patty's Day and a pot of gold craft. And then learning about pointillism and kind of doing your own version of that for St. Patty's Day with pencils and erasers and dipping them in paint and doing different shades of green. Then we have our weather section. We're doing the letter U. Our sequence of the different seasons, coming out like a lion or a lamb. I like that idea. There's this cloud craft, the changing weather learning center materials, the different books that come with it, learning about tulips and doing the game, the puzzle that came with it. We've got this cool craft where you drip glue to be like raindrops. I think that'll be really fun. Motor skills and just fun to see how we can use glue in different ways. This shaving cream cloud craft. Always nice to have shaving cream on hand with little kids. Learning how you can use your body to make the different letter shapes, which is really cool. Learning about rainbows and reviewing the letters the last week. Making these cool armbands like the wind, I think would be really fun for like singing and dancing. Animal sounds, cloud craft with cotton balls stamped in paint. And then we're gonna make our own weather charts that they can take home, which will be really fun. And then pinwheels. So that's an overview of the month. Sometimes if I do this early enough, I will request some of the books or some of them I have as well. So I'll try to corral those. So I'm just gonna kind of circle which ones I have. And I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna make a list of this. I'm gonna get out my St. Patty's Day books, which I have categorized downstairs, and any weather books. I'm sure I have. Dr. Seuss, I have a ton. So let's see. Cat in the Hat. I'm just gonna write down, and then I do have Mr. Brown Can Moo. It's a fun one, it's not as long. Let's see, One Fish, Two Fish. Silly Sally, I like that one, we have that as well. So I have to find that. And then the other half is like halfway through, let's see. Here we go. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That one's kind of long. Probably won't read that. But yeah, any seasons books. I'm sure I have some. Okay, I have It Look Like Spilt Milk. Looks like I have a lot of these books, and I could, sometimes I send these lists to my librarian and she'll pick some, maybe not even these books, but she'll see like that it's rainbow and seasons and she'll pull some books. Or, I have a lot of these kinds of books, Dr. Seuss, silly related books and weather and seasons, but you definitely could like request these at your library, go to your library and find ones that fit with. I typically don't read only books that deal with what we're talking about for themes. I pull books, based on the kids' interest and just fun books. We usually read 3 books a day at snack. That's about all my kids can handle. Sometimes we'll read more in the morning if they're feeling into it, but in general we read 3 at snack time, and I try to do 1 theme related book, 1 just random book, and then 1 book that's teaching like about generosity or kindness or one of those character traits or manners or about, different occupations, something that's like a more educational nonfiction book, so that we're getting a variety of different kinds of books that we're reading. That's how I typically do it, and I pull those on a weekly basis and I just put them in my bins as I'm planning for the week. The very last thing I do when planning for the month is get our workbooks ready. Now, if you have children who can write their letters really well without any help, great, you don't need to do this step, but some of mine are still learning and they have trouble writing them without a guide. So they do really well at tracing these dotted ones, but when it comes time to actually write it freehand, they just don't know what to do, some of them. So for those children, for all of them, I take a color that kind of goes with the month, a lighter color, so green, because it's St. Patty's Day month. I just go in and I write a few more of these so that they can trace but still see what they're doing. For the kids who are, a little bit more advanced with writing, I'll maybe just do 1 or 2 for them to practice tracing, and then they do it on their own. But it just depends on if they'll actually do it if everybody else has the lines or not. So I just go through and I do this for all the kids, write their name on the front, and that way we're ready to go for the entire month. Okay guys, that's it. That's all I do. I just basically look at my planner, I write it out, I just go through the book and kind of just quickly write out what I'm gonna do. And then on a weekly basis, I actually have a video where I plan for the week. So I'll link that below so you can see how I take this and actually plan and corral everything. So I do that on a more detailed level. I don't do detail planning for the month. but I do kind of give myself an overview of what crafts we're doing what day, so I have kind of a generalized sense of where we're headed, what we're doing, what things I need to pull. But I just try to keep things really simple. I don't like to do a lot of this on the weekend. I like to be able to fit it in. I typically plan for the week and get everything corralled while the kids are doing their craft or sensory bins or Play-Doh and that kind of stuff on Thursdays, because I give them something to really occupy them, and then I take 20 minutes while they're doing that and I'm in the same room and I just corral everything like a mad woman. Or I do it at the end of the day when they're playing, when I only have like 2 or 3 kids left. That's how I fit it in, because otherwise I'd be taking up all my family time and I really don't want to be doing this. I am filming this particular video on the weekend, and I do a lot of my monthly overview planning on the weekend just because I really want to be able to focus. But when it comes to the weekly, it's really easy to like just pull stuff, throw it in, and then I know the day of I'll know what to do with it, because that's what's great about Funshine. It's really easy to just jump in for the day, collect what you need from the kit, and you're really ready to go. It's that simple. So I really love it. If you guys have Funshine, let me know how you like it, or if you have another curriculum, let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Bye guys.